Good Tuesday morning, everyone. It is the 31st of January. Monica Corrado here, the Gap Chef. I'm here to talk with you about anything you would like to talk about, answer any questions you may have about cooking for the GAPS diet. Again, I am not a medical doctor. I am a holistic nutritionist, a teaching chef, and a certified GAPS practitioner. So I do teach for Dr. Natasha on her teaching team to help to train all of the certified GAPS practitioners and certified GAPS coaches on how to cook for the GAPS diet. So again, my website is simplybeingwell.com. You can find me there. I do take individual clients. I work with clients. I have some online classes there. I will be unveiling my Meat Stock Masterclass the end of February, and also a training course for people who want to be certified GAPS chefs, if you will, something like that. In any case, stay tuned for that. Happy to be here with all of you. What else can I tell you? Oh, nothing I say has been approved by the FDA, as you all know. And everything I say is brought to you. It is because of, it's my best effort to accurately represent Dr. Natasha's work. That's my job here, that's my work here, and that's what I'm going to be doing here. So again, this book, Gut and Psychology Syndrome, this book, Gut and Physiology Syndrome, my book, which you've all seen so many times, that is now spiral bound. Yes. I will give the code to get $10 off of that new book for you. All right, so glad to see everyone. I'm thrilled to be back in Colorado. I just came back on Saturday. Many of you know that I was in Florida taking care of my dad while he was in the hospital and in hospice, and that he passed on the 9th of January. So anyway, I'm happy to be home with my husband, my son, our dog, and unfortunately single-digit temperatures in the state of Colorado and snow. But so happy to be with you. I'm looking forward to recovery. So I just also want to say that I'm going to do my best today, as I always do. And if I'm a little slow on the uptake, it's because I'm just physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted. But I thought it would be better to be here than not, because I love this group and I want to be available to you. All right, so let's say hello to everybody. Hooray, I'm back. Okay, let's take a look. Who came in? Hello, Dill. Hello, Joanna. Hey, did you see I responded about your tallow? Just so everyone knows, the best tallow from beef is yellow. It is not white. The best fat from beef is going to be yellow. In fact, you can tell whether or not the beef you're eating when you buy a steak or a roast or an anything. If the fat is white, that's from a grain-fed cow. If the fat is yellow or beigey yellow, then it is from a grass-fed cow, which is, of course, what we want. Okay. Great, Joanna, I'm glad. Hello, Vicky. Woohoo! Good to see you, too. Hello, Caroline. Hello, Faria. Hello, Laura. Hello, Jennifer. Aw, thank you so much. Love you guys, too. Love the whole GAPS team and the whole GAPS family. Aw, you're welcome. Good. Okay, there was something I wanted to say. What was it? OnCon, everybody. If you haven't got your tickets yet for the GAPS online conference, that's called GAPS OnCon 2023, please pick one up. I'm teaching. I'll be doing a segment on juicing and smoothies and stuff like that. You'll also get bonus material, a class I taught, I think 2 years ago at the first OnCon on meat stock. Incredible presenters, all about gaps in the gaps in your daily life. How do you make it easy? Wonderful presenters. Of course, Dr. Natasha will open and teach incredibly, as she always does. So check out GAPS, G-A-P-S, ONCON, O-N-C-O-N. This is the third annual. It takes place online, and you will be able to not only meet people in chat groups and all sorts of things, but also those recordings will be available if you're in a different time zone and you can't make the time. So this is an international conference. It's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, February 16th through 18th. And if you would like to save some money, you could put my little M Corrado 23, and you'll save money on your, if you want. I mean, people like to save money, but up to you if you don't, no problem. Okay, so that I wanted to talk about that's coming up fast. It's only 3 weeks out, folks. Not even 3 weeks, 16 days out. So I know because I still have to do my filming. Shh, Jennifer, don't tell anyone. Because I've been away, I have not been able to do my filming with my producer, so we'll do that soon. Okay. Alrighty, let's see who else has joined us. La la la, hello Natasha, hello Esther, hello Marie, hello Edil, good to have you. All right, everybody, so I wanted to talk a little bit today about supplements. A couple things, and also I think some of you have already responded on the page. I put up a little note to say, what are your biggest challenges in the kitchen? What are the challenges that you're facing that you might need help troubleshooting? So please put that, please do take a moment to type that in, let other people know. I'm gathering some information so I can do some targeted Facebook Lives for all of you and some classes. And I'm also wondering, I'd kind of like to do a Zoom with everybody if people were interested. We wouldn't have to record it if people wanted to stay, or we just record me, not you. But I'm wondering if people would like to meet each other on a Zoom and we could have a little get-together, I think maybe in March. Anyone who wants to come from this page, who wants to talk and meet each other and share resources and things like that, I think that would be a lovely, lovely thing to do. Okay, what else have we got here? La, 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 la. Yay, Jennifer says. Zip. Great. Don't worry, I'll get it done, not a problem, now that I'm home and starting to feel more like myself. Okay, so just check those things out, everyone. One, GAPS OnCon 2023. Gonna be awesome. It's always awesome because, of course, whenever Dr. Natasha teaches, it's awesome and we're happy. What else? And, of course, I love to teach, which you all know. La la. What else? That was the first thing. The second thing is please let me know what you're having the most difficulty with on the page, on our group page. I think I put it in green. As in go. That would be great. And I thought we would talk a little bit. Thank you. I am extremely tired. Don't look at those little bags. I think I aged 20 years in the last 2 months, but that's okay. Back in the stream, loving my peeps, here with all of you. Rock on. Let's do it. It will. 1 hour of teaching will keep me going for the next, I don't know, week, maybe? Maybe. All right. So let's talk about, I want to talk about supplements because, and then I'll talk about anything you want. On the page, let me start differently. There are 5 supplements or supplement categories only that Dr. Natasha talks about in the GAPS diet. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 100, not 50, not 22. 5. Only 5. And they are basically food. So, or they're derived from food. So I see a lot of people on the page talking about supplementation they're doing with their child or themselves or their spouse or their whoever. And we want to get back to the basics of GAPS, please. I'm not saying that supplements can't be helpful, but let's talk about where supplements, what the role they have in GAPS, where they fit according to Dr. Natasha, right? And then let's talk about other things, okay? So the first thing I ask is that if you're going to talk about supplements on the page, Ask the GAPS Chef, please make sure that it's things that Dr. Natasha talks about, suggests, etc. Yeah, that's the first thing I ask. And then do go ahead and look and see, what does she say? So I broke this down in both versions, both editions of my book, of which supplements are okay for gaps. And of course, we know the progression of the teaching, right? So we have the yellow book, Gut and Psychology, which was first 100 pages less than this volume. This is the revised and expanded edition, right? And then we know that there was the cardiovascular book was written, and Put Your Heart in Your Mouth. And we know that the Vegetarian Explained book was written. And then we know that this book was written, right, and published. Gut and Physiology Syndrome, which connects gut health to so many other symptoms. In fact, as all of you know who have read it, I hope everyone's read it, smile, hint, hint. She has an A to Z of conditions that can be tied back to gut health. So it's a wonderful thing to take a look at that list to see if there's anyone you know that have any of these conditions, and let them know about gaps. Because there's a lot of people out there who say, oh no, I don't need gaps, I don't have any gut problems, or I don't have any brain function issues. Guess what? There are many other issues that are connected to gut health, and if you know what they are, then you can be helping other folks to know about gaps. All right, so let's just jump in and look at supplementation in the blue book, which is the latest teaching we've got. That's in print, if you will. Of course, Dr. Natasha is always updating the gaps.me website, and you all know to check there first, because for any new teaching, because Dr. Natasha is constantly answering questions there. There's so much information there. Nuances of specific conditions, or specifically how to use different things, etc. It's just a wonderful resource. All right, so if we look in blue, we're looking at 305. If people want to read along. Page 305, Nutritional Supplements for Gaps People. Okay, this is the print book. 305 goes all the way to 345, so she's got 40 pages. Don't get bogged down. Just do one at a time. So what are these things? I'm going to list them and then talk about them, and then you can ask any questions you have. Number 1, probiotics. Wow, imagine that. So probiotics, not just probiotic foods, which we know will be far more potent than a probiotic capsule, but we also know, because I've taught on this on the histamine video, that sometimes people that have extreme reactions to probiotic foods, such as sauerkraut, that's young sauerkraut, right? Sauerkraut that's less than a year old, if you will, and or kefir, or yogurt, etc., any of the live foods, right? Sometimes it's better to start with a probiotic, especially, so, 1, if someone has really strong histamine responses to probiotic foods, and 2, if they've never had probiotic foods. Oh boy, folks, there are a million gazillion people out there who are eating no live foods. You wonder why they're sick. Okay, they're sick, they're tired, they're exhausted, their adrenals are shot, they're getting colds all the time, they have allergies. So, again, there are many people who have never had probiotic foods in their diet. That would be another good reason to start on a probiotic. Okay, that's number 1, probiotics. One category of nutritional supplements that Dr. Natasha talks about. The second category is fats. What? Fats? Fats are a supplement? Why, yes. She's talking mostly about nut and seed oils. Let me not misspeak. Let me get up to 314. Together, we will look at this and see what's going on. The fats, the good or the bad. Yeah, she talks all about taking out all those horrible, horrible vegetable oils that are in everything, right? No processed fats. I'm going to read them just because I must. No vegetable oils, cooking oils, margarines, butter replacements, spreadable butter, hydrogenated oils, shortenings, all other artificial fats are processed. They are alien to human physiology and must not be consumed by anybody, let alone GAPS patients, GAPS people. All right, that's all. So what is she talking about? She wants to talk about, she's going on in fats. What do we need in terms of fats? Mostly she's going to talk in this chapter about cholesterol, like egg yolks, caviar, good things like that, and essential fatty acids. Okay, that's omega-3s, omega-6s. And so how do you get those? Ta-da! On 328, everyone needs a good nut and seed oil blend. Nut and seed oil blend with an approximate ratio of 2-to-1 omega-3 to omega-6. All right, she's got everything right there. Check it out, 328. Okay. Hemp oil, too heavy on omega-6, not a good idea. Flax oil, too heavy on omega-3s, should not be supplemented on its own. What? Yes. Olive oil, awesome. Make sure it's cold pressed. Coconut oil, yes, yes, yes. All right. So she talks about fats in that way, okay? And, of course, let me check one more thing in the front before I misspeak, which would be bad, bad, bad to do. La, 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 la. Fish oil is the biggest fat in that category that you need. Fish oil. That is not cod liver oil, which is number 3 by itself. Really important, folks, that you get this distinction. I have people who just have not gotten this distinction forever. Here we go. Ready? So, there's fish oil for your EFAs, essential fatty acids, and that's omega-3s, omega-6s, omega-9s, la 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 la, yeah? Fish oil, it will say fish oil on the label, okay? And then there is cod liver oil. Cod liver oil is different from fish oil. They're different. 1, 2. Fish oil is over here. Cod liver oil is over here. They do different things. Fish oil we have in our diet because we want the essential fatty acids. Fish oil, very good for brain health and many other things. But when I try to teach, like, why are we doing this thing? Fish oil, brain health, essential fatty acids, omegas, okay? Cod liver oil, fermented is best, okay? Cod liver oil is all about vitamin A, D, some E, and K. So cod liver oil is all about fat-soluble vitamins, all right? And vitamin A is what we know the anti-infective vitamin. That's what it was originally called way back when, 1900s. So cod liver oil and fish oil are two different things, and you need both in your diet, okay? So number 1, probiotics. Number 2, fats, including fish oil, okay? And number 3, cod liver oil. That's the third category of supplements. We've got cod liver oil. Again, fermented is best. Why would fermented cod liver oil be best? Because always, folks, I'm going out on a limb here saying always, but I believe it is always. Always, fermented foods will be higher in vitamin content than non-fermented foods, and they will also be easier for the body to digest. Whatever you're talking about, whether it's meat that we're fermenting, which I did last night, I'm making a beef stew today, fermented my chuck roast cubes in whey overnight. Oh yeah, it's gonna be really good. What else can I tell you? So whether you're fermenting meat or you're fermenting nuts or seeds or you're fermenting cauliflower or cabbage, whatever you're fermenting, when you ferment, you make everything, all the nutrients more bioavailable. That means better, it's more available to the body. better for the body, easier for the body to absorb and use. Okay, so we got that. What's number 4? Digestive enzymes. Number 4 is digestive enzymes. Now, Dr. Natasha includes in digestive enzymes the hydrochloric acid with betaine, betaine HCl with pepsin. Okay, good, pepsin. Okay, so she includes that in the digestive enzyme category. Why do we need digestive enzymes? Well, most people that come to GAPS, most people on the planet, I know, have very low stomach acid production. And the older we get, apparently, the lower the stomach acid production is. Okay? In terms of digestive enzymes, they are separate, really. She's putting it under the same category because it's about breaking down your food. So we've got HCl, and I did post, as many of you know, I have a stomach acid test in our featured posts on the page. Check it out. Can be helpful, I hope. So, hydrochloric acid, betaine, HCl with pepsin, and then there's also digestive enzymes. Just enzymes. Things like anything that ends in an ASE is an enzyme. So, lipase would be an enzyme that breaks down fats, right? Lactase would be an enzyme that breaks down milk, really lactose, which we don't have in GAPS. But I'm just trying to say there's all sorts of things that end in A's. Lipase is the only one that's coming to me right now, probably because I'm tired. But there are things that break down carbohydrates, break down fats, break down sugars. They all end in ASE. They are digestive enzymes, and they really can help you digest your foods. So, the thing that I want to say to you is that why digestive enzymes? Please go read that paragraph. This is an amazing, maybe it's a couple pages. Hold on. This is an amazing thing that Dr. Natasha writes under digestive enzymes 338 to 342. It's 4 pages, but it really gives you a sense of how digestion happens. If we humans do not produce enough stomach acid, the entire digestive process breaks down. Doesn't happen. I'm going like this because it's kind of like dominoes. You have to go boop, and then boop, 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 boop. So we have to have enough hydrochloric acid to actually have the rest of the steps happen in order for us to digest our food. It's critical that we do that. All right. And then the 5th thing is vitamin and mineral supplementation. Ooh, let's look at that for a minute, because this is where people get kooky and start adding a million bazillion things. Let's see what she has to say. Then I see your questions coming in. So I will be right there with you. Un momento, por favore. All right, so stomach acid booster, vitamin. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay, page 345, ready? I normally do not recommend any vitamin or mineral supplementation at the beginning of the program. Got it? That's a direct quote from the book. This is Dr. Natasha. I recommend putting most effort into implementing the diet first and starting the healing process in the gut. Once the digestive system starts working properly, what does that mean? Meat stock, no processed foods. Meat stock, lots of healthy fats. Meat stock, right? What does it mean? That's what it means. Okay, once the good stools, your bowels are moving every day, no problem, right? That's what it means. No bloating, no constipation, no aches and pains in your stomach, etc., etc., etc. Once the digestive system starts working properly, nutritional deficiencies may disappear without any supplementation. They disappear the natural way as the body starts working properly. All right, and then she talks about, of course, everyone is different, and working with a qualified practitioner may be best. Make sure to keep supplements to an absolute minimum. Yeah. Add fulvic acid. with supplements and choose them that do not have anything, which is not allowed on the GAPS diet. Yikey. Good luck with that. Okay. Okay. Hello, Charisse. Hello, Roseanne. Hello, Melissa. Woo, woo, woo. Hello, Wanderlust Heart CB. Hello, Deb. Hey, good to see you, my Colorado friend. All right. Hello, Corolla. Hello, Honey. Hello, everyone. I hope that's helpful. So let's go back. Charisse says it's so hard to find a real cold-pressed olive oil in the store. Yes. Okay, so here's a thought. You probably all know this, which is look for raw on the label, look for cold-pressed on the label, not cold extracted. And then test your olive oil in the refrigerator. If your olive oil, the olive oil bottle, which should be dark green or dark brown, and should be kept out of sunlight, right? Out of light, out of heat. If that olive oil coagulates, gets thick in the refrigerator, then you've got a good olive oil. That's the home test, right? If it does not, then it's been cut. This is true. I know it's hard, Charisse. There are a couple, Weston Price, if you are a Weston A. Price Foundation member, which I hope you all are, they put out a product guide, at least the products in the U.S., and they will rank good, better, best olive oil in there. So you might want to look there too. That may be helpful. Okay. Any ideas why I feel worse when I take digestive enzymes with my meal? Let's look. Seymour, come to me. I'm trying to see your whole question. All right, let's see what it says. Wanderlust Heart CB says, any ideas why I feel worse when I take digestive enzymes with my meal? I know I have very low stomach acid. Ta-da! And I don't digest well, so I find it confusing. Any ideas? So again, are you talking about digestive enzymes or are you talking about hydrochloric acid with betaine? So HCl, right? Or betaine hydrochloric acid with pepsin. I don't know why I'm scrambling that today. I apologize. Must be my tired brain. I would work on your stomach acid. And I would work on it naturally also. So if anyone is having problems, if you're feeling worse when you take digestive enzymes, if you're feeling worse, like you're going along really well, and then you take digestive enzymes, you feel like terrible, I would either, you could drop the digestive enzymes and try a new one. Maybe it's the brand that has things in it that you don't like, your body doesn't like. You could also drop the digestive enzymes and work with bitters. Make your own bitters or buy some organic bitters and drink that before every meal. You could also be drinking, you may already be doing these things, I don't know, but just for everyone's benefit. You could also be drinking some apple cider vinegar and water before every meal. See if you can get things moving with your stomach acid. And also, of course, cabbage. I don't know where people are on the diet, but if you're on full GAPS or if you're on a stage where you can have raw vegetables, we're looking at stage 5 and beyond in the intro diet. You could add a small cabbage salad. In the U.S., we call it coleslaw, but a small raw cabbage salad with your meal, before your meal, really helps with digestion. So I would do those types of things. If you're feeling worse when you add something in, take it out for a while, for a week or 2 weeks. Try to add it back in, or switch your brand, or drop them entirely and try to use things like, again, apple cider vinegar and water, digestive bitters, raw cabbage salad, those types of things. Beet kvass to get your stomach acid up. Okay. Laura wants to know what's better, organic cold-pressed olive oil or unrefined cold-pressed olive oil. You know, Laura, that's a tricky question because really only in the U.S. do we need to bother with organic for the most part. If you're getting something from Europe, for the most part, again, I can't speak for every single brand, but in general, They do not spray their crops like the U.S. does. They don't spray them. They don't use glyphosate like we do. They don't use GMOs like we do. I mean, so in the U.S., I would definitely go with organic. If you're looking at olive oil from Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece, I often do not bother at all with the word organic, and I'll go with unrefined, cold-pressed from Europe. So that's really the different. Most of the time, folks, or a lot of the time, the differentiation has to do with, is it from the U.S.? We've got a horrible food supply, I'm sorry to say. I don't want to go there. Or we allow things, we allow spraying and herbicides and fungicides and glyphosate and GMOs and all sorts of garbage on our food, and you wonder why people are sick and dying and have holes blown in their guts. Sorry. But if you look to Europe, usually you're much better off, if not always. All right, let's see. Hey, Kathy, good to have you. Hey, Hamda. Yay, Roseanne's from Colorado too. Yeah, you must be freezing like I am. Coming from Florida to this is cuckoo. Anyway, I don't mind. I'm happy to be home. Believe me. Hello. Umu Sumaya. I hope that got that right. Welcome. Muna. Welcome. Ashley. Hello, hello. Okay. Yasmin is here. Yay. Jennifer. Rebecca is here. Joanna. Hi, Yasmin. All right, let's see what's going on. All right, Faria wants to know, are you able to recommend a good nut seed oil to take? So I have several listed in my book. Let's see, what does Dr. Natasha have for fun? Usually it's going to be a blend, folks. So, la 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 la. All she says is make sure that the oil is high quality in dark glass and refrigerated. Do not buy. So she often says something like Udo's 369. Udo's brand, UDO. Udo's 369 might be good. Yeah. Hold on. Let's see if there's anything else that she says. La la la. Lots of fats, but you already know that. Yeah, so just look and see. You're welcome to throw things on the page and see. I'm happy to comment on them as you find them. Okay? All right. Jennifer is commenting. Jennifer Davis, fabulous. Jennifer, also on the GAPS team. Wonder if it is digestive enzyme, maybe the aspergillus you're sensitive to. I have an issue with it and cannot take digestive enzymes. Maybe something to look into. Monica's suggestions for boosting stomach acid in place of digestive enzymes are on point. I have found them very helpful. Excellente. Good to hear there, Jennifer. Thank you for that. Joanna asks, do you ever reuse your animal fat for cooking? If so, how would you store it? I just came across it in Vegetarian Explained. Let's see. So the reuse of animal fats goes back to things like, I'm just going to say, like deep frying in tallow. So we remember that McDonald's, believe it or not, way back when it was first opened, it was actually grass-fed meat, and they used tallow for French fries. Now, we're a far cry from that these days, sadly. But yes, they would use large amounts of beef tallow in their fryers and then strain it out and reuse it. Apparently, all of these healthy animal fats are very stable at high heat. They do not transform into trans fats or things that can be very dangerous for you and bad for your heart and bad for everything in your body. So I personally do not reuse fat, only because I've got so much of it around all the time. And yeah, and then of course I pour it on the food when I'm done cooking. Little do they know. In any case, so all you would need to do would be to strain it again. I like to strain things through a fine mesh sieve, like a stainless steel fine strainer that I will line with cheesecloth, or as I said before, save yourself some money and have a better job done by an old t-shirt that you cut up and use to strain things like fat. T-shirt, linen napkin, tablecloth, whatever. Dish towel that's old and linen, not those furry kind they make now. So I would just suggest that you use the fat and then strain it to get at any of the little pieces of meat or food that may be stuck, that may have come off into the fat. And then put it in a ramekin and reuse again. How would you store it? You know, as you all know, animal fats have different levels of saturation. And if you don't know that, go back and read the Blue Book again. And read also Sally Fallon's Nourishing Traditions book, because she has a wonderful several pages about fats in the beginning of that book. Tremendous book. Many of her recipes are not GAPS compliant, but they could be made GAPS compliant very easily. If you have questions about that, let me know. So we know, again, that animal fat has different levels of saturation. So things like duck fat and chicken fat will always be liquid at room temperature. And so they're best stored in the refrigerator. Lard will be fairly liquid, or can be, at room temperature. Things like tallow, nope, they just get hard. They just get solid at room temperature. So it just depends. The longer you want to store healthy animal fats, if you want to store them for a long time, I would put them in the refrigerator. And I would put the ones that are more liquid at room temperature in the refrigerator, like keep them from going rancid. But the majority of healthy animal fats can be just left right by your stove. I've got 3 or 4 different ramekins this big, full of, they're probably half a cup each, maybe, that have lamb tallow in them, beef tallow in them, pork lard in them, and the rest of them I put in the refrigerator. So I hope that's helpful, Joanna. Let me know if you have further questions. Okay, Uma is here. Hello, Uma. Ashley, why would you take seed oil? Well, Dr. Natasha talks a lot about nut and seed oil blends in both the Yellow Book and the Blue Book as important to the diet. That is for their omegas. And so you could go ahead, again, that's on page 328 in blue. And she says, the majority of GAPS people don't need supplementation with plant oils, as they get them from their diet, or fish oils. If they get them from their diet, that means that you're having fermented fish a couple times a week. That means that you're having salmon a couple times a week, right? You're probably not. So therefore, fish oil is a very good idea. She also says some GAPS people benefit from supplementing essential fatty acids in small amounts, particularly at the beginning of the diet. So that's really about, Ashley, that's really about omega-3s and 6s. If you're interested, someone asked me way back when. Who was it? Wait, I'm going back up. La 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 la. Looking. Faria, I would jump on Dr. Tom Cowan's website. He just started producing incredibly pure, potent, clean, and just beautiful nut and seed oils. drtomcowan.com. If anybody wants to throw that on our comments, that would be grand. Okay. Walnut oil, Marie? Yeah, you can use some walnut oil. Yep. Hello, Barrett Brown. Hello, Umu. Okay. Wanderlust CB says, I am suspected of mold illness being a root cause, so this is interesting. Many thanks. Thanks to Jennifer. Woohoo! All right. You're welcome, Joanna. Okay, let's see what else we've got. I'm going to come back up here because I know sometimes they get rid of my... All right, let's see. Yasmin says, my son has issues with anything fermented. I came across an article which says children with GABA and glutamate imbalance can't tolerate fermented. I don't know. So what do we do with GAPS? what we do with GAPS is if your son cannot tolerate anything fermented, then that means in the GAPS world that he needs more healing. And so take everything that's fermented out for now, and then start bringing in something fermented with a very little bit at a time. Remember, even though Dr. Natasha talks about introducing things at a teaspoon at a time, right? You can start with a drop of fermented, like sauerkraut juice in 8 ounces of water and give your son a drop of that. So we back it up, 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 back it up. We back it up. Find where you can stand. Find where there is a tolerance. Now, I'm not talking about people that have anaphylactic reactions. That is not what I'm talking about here. Do not try to introduce anything if someone has anaphylactic reactions or allergies. Do not. But if it's just about, quote unquote, my child has problems with anything fermented, then that's probably just a leaky gut issue. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. But the first place we go is heal and seal the gut and back up take everything fermented out, bring in a probiotic to make sure that you're getting some kind of gut flora into this child, into your son, and start with something. Pick something, one thing, and start with a drop in 8 ounces of water and give your son a drop of that, okay? And then slowly, gradually increase. This is not a race. GAPS is not a race. GAPS is deep, deep healing. Your body is very wise, and it will do what it needs to do in the order it believes is most important. So our job is to stay patient, to stay diligent, and to keep our eye on the prize. That's our job. Okay. Okay, he has been on GAP stages since last March last year. Every time I reintroduce, he's angry, cries, and have sleeps. Yes, the advice is take out the fermented food, all of it. Do lots of meat stock and lots of fats. Keep the sugar out of his diet and start with a little drop. That's what I would suggest. Faria asks, what do you think causes fear in people? For example, or that is fear of heights, fear of driving, or claustrophobic. Do you think it's gut related? I think everything is gut related. Not really. Well, maybe. I think Dr. Natasha would say yes. We remember that our microbes control our brain. I know that sounds kooky, but remember that when we have imbalance and when we have microbes throwing off their toxins into our bloodstream, we can get a little crazy, right? Like all sorts of things, neurological disease. So again, I don't know enough about claustrophobia or these phobias or whatever, but I would bet, again, this is my best guess, my best deduction, Sherlock Holmes style. My best deduction would be that when you get the gut healed and sealed, and when you get the gut flora robust and thriving, then many things will come to balance, including any of these nervous system brain. Well, the nervous system is the brain, right? The brain is part of the nervous system. All these brain function things. Okay. What probiotic do you recommend for a teenage autistic boy? I would look at Smidge, folks, because they have some good things that are specific to autism. Smidge used to be called organic something or other. But anyway, Smidge. I would also look at custom probiotics. I like them a lot. They've been around a long time. I would look there. GAPS diet is good for everyone, Marie. Yes, Parkinson's for sure. Thank you, Jennifer, for throwing that up there. I really appreciate it. All right, let's see. Kathy says, I am using the fat that is released from oven roasting marrow bones to make a salve. Yes. I had a few drops of essential oil, especially good to rub on the belly. I'm wondering if we absorb vitamin D this way, since the beef is outdoor grass-fed. Yes, I mean, yes. It's wonderful to put oil on your skin, folks. Children's skin, baby skin, your skin to absorb. Put cod liver oil on your skin. That's a wonderful thing. I would think yes. All right. Would this be the same with meat stock? I reacted horribly to meat stocks, so should I be backing it up and introducing a tiny bit of time? It made me lose some hope that GAPS was right for me. Aw, sister, Wanderlust. I think you're a sister. You might not be a sister. You might be not. You're just Wanderlust Heart CB. Yes, meat stock could do that too, folks. Remember, these are powerful foods. So back it up. Back it up and start with a little bit and dilute it if you need to. No problem. No problem. Do that, see how it goes, and let us know. Okay. Uma says, I like to use tallow for cooking, but when food gets cold, my child doesn't like it. If he takes it to school, he wouldn't eat it. Yeah, well, tallow will... Tallow is best used on hot and warm food, or else it's going to get mucky and get that greasy, taste. I would use something maybe a little bit less thick, Uma. Maybe, thinking maybe duck fat or chicken fat or lard even may not have as much. Or what about using a thermos? Stainless steel wide mouth thermos. I love those, folks. Really good for people to bring food to the work, to school, etc. I don't know if that's possible for you, but I think that's a good idea. All right, where am I now? I'm moving up and down trying to find what I haven't. Okay, Lace is here. Hello, Lace. Lace covered anchor. All right. Hello, I've been on GAPS for about 6 weeks. Welcome. Congratulations. I've been slowly introducing egg yolks and sour cream. Remembering it's GAPS sour cream, folks, which is creme fraiche. I have also been increasing butter. However, I have read that dairy is not good for people with autoimmune issues. Where? Is that anywhere in here? I'm sorry to be so bratty about it, but you're going to read... Master Google is going to tell you everything. You can find yes and no to every darn thing you're ever going to look up. But in any case, so I'll continue reading and see what else I can say. I have not been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, but is suspected at this point. I have read the yellow and blue books. I didn't see. Dr. Natasha says it's good or bad either way for autoimmune issues. Correct. Correct. So you will note that autoimmune, she talks about autoimmune here all the time. And what does she say? She says do GAPS. Right? She says do GAPS. I have also done some research on her website. Okay, I'm just curious why so many people say it's bad. I'm waiting on my appointment with Becky. Hooray! Say hello to Becky for me, my dear friend and colleague. Okay. So my understanding is that dairy has gotten a really bad rap, certainly in the U.S., and it should have a bad rap if we're talking about commercial dairy. So most of the time, people are writing about problems with dairy. They are writing about commercial dairy. They're not talking about raw dairy. And they're also not talking about cultured raw dairy. So that is probably where it's coming from. That's my best, my best thought there. We know that we must heal and seal the gut in order to have autoimmune diseases go away. So if I were working with you as your practitioner, I would say follow the diet and see how you feel. Listen to the body, listen to the body, listen to the body. That's what Dr. Natasha would say too. She would also say that labels are not helpful sometimes. And so do not get caught up in a label. You can use a label if it informs your thoughts about something, but to sit and go, to allow your mind to spin around, I might have an autoimmune disease, is not going to help you. That's my humble thought. I would do the diet and see how it goes. That's my personal thought there. And that is why, Brea, what's going on? Do we have a child with us? Poop, pop, egg? Okay. Which would be great. So that's my thought. Lace. Yeah. You're going to read that dairy is not good for lots of things. You're also going to read that meat isn't good. You're also going to read that, right, fat isn't good. I mean, the whole world is against the GAPS diet because why? Because it's about traditional foods. The whole world except for Weston A. Price people, right? People that know that traditionally grown, traditionally raised foods, and traditionally cooked and cultured and fermented foods are the way to build a body, and that most bodies on this planet are malnourished, they are starving, their digestive systems are broken. Sorry, broken is strong. They're not working the way they should be. They're not working optimally. And we remember one more time with feeling that animal foods are builders. So if anyone is trying to rebuild, if you're trying to grow new cells, if you're trying to, which we're doing all the time, right? Our bodies are recreating itself all the time. Every organ, every cell has its own timing for being born, living, dying, being born, living, dying, over and over and over again. So our work, our job is to give the body the nutrition it needs in order for the body to go back to blueprint. You can't build a strong house without quality materials. You can't build a strong body without quality materials. And so the GAPS diet really does provide that for us. It provides all of these, provides the animal foods, the nutrients from animal foods that will help us rebuild our bodies and build them strong, build them back strong and functioning the way we were meant to be. Okay, hope that was helpful. I do get a little passionate about these things, everybody. That is what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yes, all from raw dairy and GAPS sour cream. Yes, I'm not worried about the label. Excellent. I appreciate your reassurance. You're welcome. I just don't know anyone with autoimmune issues, and I am flying solo. Haha. I felt better within days of starting GAPS. Thank you. Don't worry. We've got lots of people on this group with autoimmune issues. Just throw it out there and start talking to people. I'm sure there are many, and they've all had lots of things come to balance because of the GAPS diet for many, many, many reasons. So I'm glad you found us, Lace, and I hope that was helpful. And stay with us on the page. And please, everyone, one of the things I forgot to mention or remind you all when I started is that I take these videos and I put them on my YouTube channel under Ask the GAPS Chef. So if there are people who are not on our page that want to watch it, or if you want to go find something, I've started labeling them. Like I've done one on histamine, I've done one on the 5 detox baths, I've done one on coffee, I've done one on meat stock versus bone broth, I've done one on all about the bones, vegetable medley. There's all sorts of, I think, informative things right there for you, free, available. Jump on them, send them to people, take a look, learn. My work, my job, my love is to let you all know about, to the best of my ability, about GAPS and how it works and make it easy for you. That's my thing. So check that out, Lace, and everyone else. If you haven't checked it out on YouTube, you can find some, I hope, good, just these where I'm talking and answering questions, which I hope is helpful. Good. Okay, let's see. Anything else? I think I answered everybody's questions. I'm going way up. Nope, I think everybody's good. Dr. Natasha. Hi, Uma. Dr. Natasha does not recommend coffee enemas for children. Do you know the reason? My understanding is that it's just too powerful a cleanse. It can be. Remembering that coffee speeds up detoxification exponentially. And so, yeah, I would just stick with the basic enema, which is water and salt. Which is salt and baking soda and water. There are other enemas that Dr. Natasha goes into in the Blue Book under bowel management. So take a look at that and see what would work for your child. Just do the enemas, regular enemas for your beloved children. In your experience, have you ever seen children did well without complications? What kind of complications, Uma? Let me know what that means. Okay, how to help insomnia. My children still suffers with waking up randomly. So Yasmin, I would look at, see if you can see a pattern with wake-ups. I've talked about this before. Meaning, does your child always wake up between the hours of 1 a.m. and 3 a.m.? Does your child always wake up between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.? Does your child always wake up between the hours of 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. and 1 a.m.? No pattern. Okay, then I would just keep working the diet, Yasmin. I would be bringing in a lot of meat stock, and I would also do some high magnesium juices. Excellent. I would do some high magnesium juices. So Dr. Natasha has some juices, which I think I told you I'm going to teach on in a little bit. See if I can find it. High magnesium juices. One moment, please. There's a wonderful high magnesium juice that I was just looking at. Lots of greens in juice. Maybe some magnesium to help with sleep. Insomnia can also be caused by die-off. Insomnia can also be caused by parasites if it's around the full moon, right? I would increase some magnesium. Do some high magnesium juices and some calcium. Make sure they're having enough calcium, meaning enough good yogurt, enough good kefir. Calcium can also help with sleep issues. I mean, without any issue. Okay. Have you ever seen a child did well without any issues? Well on gaps, Uma? I'm not sure what the issues would be. I mean, everyone has die-off, and the degree of die-off is going to depend on the degree of dysbiosis and the degree of how strongly, how quickly, how intensely you start introducing probiotic foods. Personal care for Faria. Yes, we could do some on personal care. Throw that on my page under the green thing that says, what do you want to know? So I don't forget. Faria, please. Okay, sorry, I mean coffee enema. Oh. All right, have you ever seen a child did well without any issue with a coffee enema? I would just not do the coffee enemas for the children if Dr. Natasha says don't do them. I would do all the other enemas. And frankly, everyone, I would make sure that if your child or you or your spouse or your client or your whoever is not having a bowel movement on a regular basis, that means enema time. So let's all just get jiggy with enemas and do them to make sure that people are having regular bowel movements. Very, very, very important. All right, Uma, if you have other questions, put them on the page so that I can try and respond well to you. We are done with our session here, folks. Thank you for joining me today. I will be here next Tuesday, same GAPS time, same GAPS channel. Let me know if you have other questions. Put them on the page of what you want to see. And I do hope to see you all in a couple of weeks at GAPS OnCon. Yes? All right. Take good care of you. Know that if you're doing your best, that's all we can ever ask. And yes, take good care of you and yours over the next week. Okay. Be well, everyone. Bye now.